So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our satsang video of the week. And this week, I'm going to be covering three particular questions. I think 3 or 4, not sure yet. So, yeah, let's get started with that. And one thing I just wanted to actually let you guys know is that I'm going to be making a transit video for Uranus. That's right, Uranus on my KRS vlogs this week. And then next week, I'm going to be talking about stock market, the most talked about subject that I have never covered actually. And I'm going to be covering some tricks on how to look at, companies and stocks and how to do those things, and especially who should do stock trading and who shouldn't. So I'm going to be doing that next week, next Monday or Tuesday. So anyway, guys, let's start with this particular satsang. So our first question is from Lily Silly. So astrologers who've seen their own chart, how do they deal with the negative events that's going to happen in their life, like death of a close one, loss, negative stuff? Isn't that psychologically damaging? Oh, of course, absolutely psychologically damaging. But you got to also understand, how many astrologers are capable of seeing death? Hardly any. One may say like, oh yeah, I know how to do these things. Let's see if there are 10, analysis that they have made in their life regarding death. Illnesses and all of these things, let me tell you, actually, even health, for most astrologers will be an impossible task. What disease is coming up? What disease, what illness may pop up? But let's say someone who does know all these things, all the negative events that can happen. Well, unless they are doing spiritual practices where this individual has detached themselves emotionally, psychologically with the world, whether it's the billion population out there or it's their spouse, children, mother, father. That's how astrologers actually has to be. They have to be so detached internally that when some negative things happen, they understand that this is just part of the whole. My sister passed away, but I already know she's going to be reborn in some family in Kerala, India. Once you get to that level, then you should be looking at the charts of near and dear ones. But if you have just learned astrology and you don't know all the ins and outs of astrology, it's better to then not look at your chart. But yes, it can be psychologically damaging if you have a weak mind. Okay, which gives me a segue into this next question from TSS2. Why is moon always associated with fame in the 10th house when it has no directional strength in that house and has to instead depend upon their co-workers for doing their work? By me, it's not good position for moon when it's in the 4th house as it's emotionally unstable. Well, you just answered your own question. So first of all, logically, why is it that moon shows fame in the 10th house? Which is one graha that is so big that you can actually look not only through your eyes but through binoculars and see all the craters in it, whatever is happening in it. It's the moon. For an average person, it's the moon. It's not the sun. It's not Mars. It's not Venus. So moon is the most biggest beautiful thing, especially when it's full or when it's crescent. Like literally yesterday, I saw the most beautiful moon. Just beautiful moon yesterday, setting right after sunset. Today's going to be a little bit more full, but it's the most beautiful object. Any planet in the 10th house can show fame, but moon specifically because of this logical reason. It is the closest body to Earth. It is the body that affects most things very, very strongly, especially when it's full. So this is why moon does well in the 10th house. Actually, all planets do well in the 10th house. In the 4th house, I've actually seen, as much as moon and Venus receive directional strength, 4th house is actually can give psychological and emotional issues to a person. So I think you just answered it yourself, but I guess you were just looking for me to explain it in a more logical way. Then the third question is from Anjit Jha. I have a query. Hope you pick this in your next satsang. Yes. Why is moon exalted in Kritika? Shouldn't it be exalted in Rohini? Shouldn't it have the highest state of mind, moon, to be creative rather than criticizing and fault finding, which Kritika is about? Very, very smart question. And this actually comes to this one particular idea that the nakshatras in one sense are equal, on the other sense are not equal. And there's a particular system known as Garga system, Garga Nakshatra system, which I've actually even talked about in my astrology course. I think so, I have. I'm not sure. Now, it's been like 2 years since I made that course. But I've spoken about, and the Pi team has spoken about, how certain nakshatra are truly like this big, and then this big, and then this big. Rohini, Pushya, Uttra Falguni, even Uttra Ashada, and this one other one are the longest nakshatra. Shortest one is Ardra, Mula, Bhadrapada. So in the Garga system, Rohini actually starts at 3 degrees. In the Garga system, Rohini starts at 3 degrees, 3 degrees all the way till 20 degrees. So it's a long nakshatra. And this is where, that's the mystery is. And I know there's another reason why moon is at 3 degrees, why it's exalted. I completely just vanished my mind, but I worked with this, and I might put it in an annotation if I remembered it or if I just research it again. But I know there was this one other reason. But mainly it is the Garga system. Now let's look at another question. So the other question is from Nandini Shri Days. What are the effects of 12th house Libra Venus? The effects of 12th house Libra Venus is, first of all, you will find your spouse in foreign lands. Number 2, you, or if whoever has this placement, they're very oblivion to unionship. They're very oblivion to partnership. They don't know the responsibility that is needed to work a relationship and a partnership. They just want to be in their hallucinated world of the honeymoon phase of relationship, bet pleasures of the relationship, any pleasures of the relationship, spending money, spending things, kind of finding enjoyment through that elixir of losing yourself. Success in foreign lands with this particular Venus, especially when Venus Dasha is running. But when it comes to marriage, this is a very hallucinatory position. A person just doesn't realize the responsibility it takes for marriage to occur, to marriage to take place. They are not able to handle those major downs of the relationship and marriage. And of course, there's many other things. My phone fell. You will also see this is the individual who will love spending money on their significant other. They will buy a lot of things for significant other. However, again, they're buying it to put a band-aid on something that needs more than just spending of money. And of course, once we see the nakshatra of Venus, that'll give us even a much deeper, beautiful placement. Okay. Then the last question is from Avnish Benger. What's the point of doing marriage compatibility if it's highest karma to be paid and that it's already predestined? Exactly my point. Exactly my point. I don't even know what to say. You're absolutely correct. When was the last time I offered a compatibility reading? But here's the thing. People who get their horoscope done through compatibility and then get married, well, I'm sorry. You were destined to be married. You were destined to be just meeting this person through this horoscope. Because here's the thing. You'll see a perfectly matched horoscope and a person is getting divorced in 3 months. You'll see people who never matched anything and just fell in love and they're married for like 20, 25 years. Now, this comes to several things. Number one, astrologer probably doesn't know what they're doing. They're not going deep enough into compatibility, or they're just so stuck up in this one, cultural way of looking at compatibility, they can't see outside the box. Compatibility is not easy. It requires time. You got to go deep into the divisional charts, and not just Navamsha. You got to go into the other ones. You got to see the curses of the lineage by both. It's deep. Like Dvadasamsha actually becomes more important than even Navamsha with the compatibility. That'll show you, okay, how's they're going to affect him going to affect her. But it's mainly what are some of the heavy karma that is going to come through marriage compatibility. For that, you're going to have to see the Dvadasamsha of both individual, and you have to know what the hell you're looking at. What yoga is forming in Dvadasamsha, what yoga is forming in their Dvadasamsha, what is the yoga doing together? This is why I don't even touch it. And I'm not even afraid to admit it, because I do not know some of these deep analysis tricks. And if I don't, I can't just do, matchmaking. But again, even if I did, and two people were no longer, going to marry each other because of my opinion, or they get married because of my opinion, I'm sorry, you were just meant to be, even with or without an astrologer or anybody else. Okay. So guys, this was my KRSsatsang for the week. Just remember, I'm going to be doing Uranus transit video, which is going to be very, very interesting next week, because I have been doing research on the outer planets. So Uranus is something I can see. And then I'm going to be making the video on that whole stock market and trading, and who should be doing trading and what to look for. Okay, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.